The beeping of my life monitor grew fainter. My brother knelt by the bed, his voice trembling with frustration. Was saving those civilians worth dying for? With a hoarse chuckle, I replied, "This is a warrior's duty." I wanted to add that I'd started martial arts too late. Following the old martial path, my potential was spent. Reaching the 8 classics was my limit. But my brother disagreed. He accused me of doing it for Chen Yuding and blamed me for clinging to the past. As I tried to explain that I watched those videos to study the demon beasts, he cut me off impatiently. After a silence, memories of Chen Feng surfaced. In freshman year's martial aptitude test, my innate vitality scored just 0-1, the lowest in class. I was deemed unfit for martial arts. For someone dreaming of martial arts, this was devastating. I'd given up completely. That painting was my only reason to pursue martial arts. I wasted 2 years until junior year began. An anonymous letter appeared in my desk, wordless. Just a painting of me clad in divine armor, wielding a sacred weapon. This impossible vision became my guiding light. I trained relentlessly, joined the Blue Heart Martial Alliance after graduation, survived countless battles to become their famed demigod warrior. I believe Chen Yuding sent that painting. She'd claimed it was hers. Then my brother asked urgently, "Was it after gym class?" I nodded. That day was etched in my memory. Suddenly, he slapped his thigh. "Wrong, everything's wrong," he cried urgently.
That day, when I returned to the classroom for water, I witnessed Yi Mingyu from another class slipping a note into your desk just days later. Do you? Well, she perished in that catastrophe. I thought you'd gone shady. Obsessed with Chen Yuding instead. Yi Mingyu.
My body convulsed violently, as if struck by lightning, eyes wide with disbelief. But Chen Yuding clearly claimed it was from her. How could it be Yi Mingyu? She lied to me. The thought barely formed when monitors screeched, my life signs flatlining completely. Then urgent voices cut through. "Is it brother third? Uncle," they pleaded, shaking me awake, my eyes snapping open to see the familiar interior of third and uncle's north fist. 5 twists. Dojo plum blossom, stakes lining the walls, a massive 5 character glaring back. This was third uncle's martial arts school. Their faces came into focus as I blurted, "Third uncle, second brother, your arm." They exchanged glances, massaging my temples, chiding me for sleep, talking nonsense. When they finally released me, seeing them unharmed, I grinned madly. Not a dream. I'd been reborn. Stumbling to the coat rack, I fumbled for my phone. The screen illuminated. My breath caught. December 2024. The date burned into my memory. When Rong Sheng would face the S-Class Windbane Beast attack, claiming thousands across multiple districts, and Yi Mingyu would die on Tianfu Street. The aftershock shattered my past life. I had been training at the dojo through the tribulation and missed going home, narrowly escaping disaster, but losing all chance at redemption. That painting came from Yi Mingyu. I took a shuddering breath, my heart pounding wildly. This time, I won't let history repeat itself. I'll save Yi Mingyu and protect third uncle and second brother too. Just then, second brother slung an arm around my shoulder, steering me toward the dojo's back room, saying, "Amu, come to room 18. Got someone new for you." Amu, I struggled urgently. "Wait, there's something. The wind blight could strike any moment. I need to find Yi Mingyu." But second brother tightened his grip, joking, "What's more important than relaxing? This newbie's got magic hands." Resistance was futile, as he half dragged me into room 18, pressing me onto the plush bed. The amber lighting softened as the door clicked open. A delicate fragrance drifted in, hauntingly familiar, windfall. A voice like crystal wind chimes pierced the silence, triggering buried memories. Yi Mingyu sounded nervous. "Hello, I'm masseuse number 8. I turned stiffly to see a girl in plain work clothes, high ponytail swaying behind a mask, and dark lenses. The very Yi Mingyu I'd mourned for lifetimes. After searching everywhere, who would have thought I'd run into Yi Mingyu here? Technician No. 8 had most of her face hidden behind a mask and glasses, but I recognized her voice instantly. It was that ice queen from our school, Yi Mingyu. That distinctively cold tone couldn't be mistaken. In my past life as a demigod, distinguishing voices was easier than telling a mosquito's gender. Yi Mingyu dropped her things, pretending to enter the wrong room, which only confirmed my suspicion. She was the one who left that letter. She barely knows anyone at school. Why would she single me out? Just as I thought to avoid her, I instinctively locked the door. Panic was written all over her face. I gestured to the massage table, telling her to begin. What's she thinking? What are you doing? Relax, sis. I'm here for a massage, not a heist. Just get started. Begin whenever you're ready. Okay. Her cheeks flushed crimson as Yi Mingyu fumbled for the lubricant. How long have you been doing this first time? I coached her technique. This Tianbao ointment is premium stuff. Uncle really splurged using this on me. Yi Mingyu's got talent, just needs polishing after some pointers. She picked it up fast by the end of the session. She was panting heavily, sweat trickling down her neck. I caught myself staring, didn't expect such curves under that uniform. When time was up, she tried to leave. I requested overtime, my hands too tired. She trembled. My lips curled as I eyed her slender legs. Hands tired, I teased. You've still got feet, don't you? Mingyu froze. This was beyond anything she'd anticipated. When I suddenly mentioned his feet, he froze for a few seconds, then in a flash his ears burned crimson, his entire face flushing instantly, as if set aflame. He shook his head vehemently, his voice icy cold with refusal. No way, I burst out laughing. In ancient times, a woman's feet were only for her husband's eyes. These days, what respectable person massages with their feet? I lounged casually on the bed, hands behind my head. I casually reminded him this shop belongs to my uncle, and your part-time employee records are all properly documented. Yishahua, you wouldn't want the whole school to find out tomorrow, would you? That did the trick. She panicked immediately, hesitation flashing in her eyes. After a moment's intense internal struggle, she finally gritted her teeth and slowly bent down, gently rolling up her pant legs to reveal slender snow-white calves. Faint blue veins traced down to her delicate feet. Mesmerizing to behold. Come closer. Put them on the bed, I instructed. Her eyes widened, staring at me like I was some pervertin. I deadpanned, just checking for odor. Wouldn't want to catch anything. After a tense silence, she reluctantly placed her feet on the bed. I leaned in for closer inspection. My frown deepened as I waved my hand. Bitunjin Yishiahua, go wash up. She bolted up and practically fled to the bathroom. I sat up, grinning unexpectedly. 5 spirit patterns adorned her souls. At least monarch grade talent, guaranteed to reach 7th realm grandmaster level after 2026. Those awakening high-level martial talents manifest soul sigils. These are new martial formations, celestial energies coalescing through innate power. New martial artists are the darlings of this era, while old martial arts practitioners must endure grueling hardships. Those pressure points she applied were actually the ancient and intricate meridian opening technique from old martial arts. The pain is excruciating, like having your meridians torn apart. Most people couldn't withstand it. Mark my words, in her final semester, when her talent awakens, the entire Rongcheng city will tremble. A monarch-grade talent appears less than once in a million. Who knew the girl who perished young in my past life had this potential just then? Yi Mingyu emerged, having regained her usual cold school belle demeanor. I suddenly called out to her and pulled something from the drawer, tossing it on the bed, a brand new pair of white stockings. She flushed with anger, eyes widening like an enraged guardian deity. I said matter-of-factly, the stockings protect your modesty during massage. Don't you know propriety? Or would you rather step barefoot on a stranger? I have hygiene standards. Yan Miu froze. At my words, lips parting slightly as she fell into deep thought. Then she gave a subtle nod, taking it as tacit approval. She quietly picked up the white stockings and headed to the bathroom. When she reappeared, my eyes were instantly drawn to her slender legs sheathed in white silk, straight and delicate, a sight rarely seen in this world. The only pity was she wasn't wearing a skirt. Laying back on the bed, I exposed my well-toned back and instructed, same position as before. This time, we'll use the Hua Yuanzhong stance, I asked. Have you practiced this Shuanggong before? She answered softly, barely above a whisper. Not very proficient. I explained. Shuanggong is the essence of traditional martial arts. Though old-school martial arts are fading, their core techniques remain invaluable. In my later years, I practiced Hunyuanzhuang daily until being recognized as 7th Realm Grandmaster by Dragon Nation's 5 Martial Arts Council, who officially named it Hunyuan breathing technique, a fusion of traditional Shuanggong and modern genetic breathing methods. So that's 60 years ahead. I glanced at her stance, pointing out flaws directly. She stayed silent, eyes tinged with shame as I corrected her shoulders down. Palms pressed together close to your sides, feet shoulder-width apart. She adjusted instantly, muscles tensing, immediately accentuating those perfect leg lines. Minutes later, I had her lift one foot to test balance, while her lower body held steady, her torso began swaying slightly. From my vantage point, it looked like two bunnies bouncing. Your zhuanggong needs work, I remarked. On a proficiency scale, you're barely past beginner level. He couldn't even last 10 minutes in stance before his legs started shaking. Head bowed, ears burning red. Seeing his struggle, I taught him the breathing technique with proper respiration. His stance immediately became much steadier, and his energy flow improved noticeably. Ready for the massage now, I said. He worked with intense focus, completely absorbed. Who'd expect this ice queen to be massaging a guy in stockings? Maintaining perfect composure while doing something so intimate. Her intoxicating aura was mesmerizing as she stepped on the nutrient paste. She slipped, losing balance, and tumbled onto my back. Feeling her soft warmth, I teased, trying to seduce me. Flushing crimson, she stammered denial. Sus. I wasn't then. Get up already. She scrambled up, eyes glistening, whispering, time's up, I'm exhausted. As she wobbled, my gaze drifted lower. She instantly panicked, covering herself and shaking her head vehemently. Turning to leave, I stopped her running away. Already, she froze, murmuring, what more do you want? Producing a bank card, I said, there's 30K here. She refused instantly with a headshake. Not charity, a membership, weekly massages. On egg tip, each time. After 30 sessions, the money's yours. When she resisted, I waved my phone, threatening refuse. And today's footage goes campus-wide. Flustered, she protested. It's too many sessions. I smirked, scanning her body, hinting at faster alternatives. Biting her lip, she yielded. I'll keep doing massages. I passed him half a bottle of Tianbao energy gel. The fragrance is overpowering. Your meridians are too lax, weak strength, shallow breathing. Don't collapse on me again during the next massage session. As I walked past him, I tossed the gel at him. He fumbled to catch it while making a fist. He weakly shook his fist at my retreating figure. When I spun around, he flinched and dropped his hand sheepishly, muttering, "Denials." Nothing just then. Second brother entered, announcing, "Chen Yuting's asking for you again." I told you, go change for training then. I headed to the dojo's combat arena. Entering Wuguan City, I immediately spotted Chen Yuting tinkering with the equipment. She was wearing figure, hugging workout gear today. Her hair in a perfectly styled bun. Several male trainees couldn't take their eyes off her stealing glances. Even the sparring partners on the platform got distracted when she noticed me approaching. She immediately lifted her chin and called out in that patronizing tone, "Hey, come be my sparring partner." I stopped in my tracks, staring at her. Memories from my past life flashed through my mind, from high school through college. I pursued her for years until after graduation. When she married into wealth, I finally gave up. Later, I fought on the alien battlefield for decades. When I returned, she'd become a business tycoon, worth hundreds of billions, with several Kijing grandmasters as bodyguards. If not for the global catastrophe, she might have surpassed me. Seeing her entitled attitude, now I couldn't be bothered to argue. Just turned to second brother and asked, "What are your sparring rates?" Second brother blinked before answering. Beginner 500, intermediate 1000, advanced 1500 pay. At the front desk, her eyes widened as she pointed at herself. Looking like I'd told the world's worst joke, I raised an eyebrow. Well, besides, I've got another sparring partner. Now you'll have to wait your turn. She trembled with rage, but kept up the tough act. Who else would want a nobody like you as a partner? Without arguing, I simply stepped aside, revealing Yi Menju in her training gear standing behind me. Chen Yuting froze in shock, never expecting to see the school's ice queen. The aloof Yi Menju actually got involved with me. Yi Menju stood there silently, without uttering a word, but her ethereal elegance instantly outshone Chen Yuting. Chen Yuting gritted her teeth in anger and snapped viciously, "Fine, and don't expect me to ask you for breakfast anymore." "That's exactly what I want," I clapped cheerfully. As she turned to leave, I casually reminded her, "Hey, you forgot your coat." She froze, mid-step, face darkening, snatched her coat from the sofa, and stormed out. Second brother nudged my shoulder with a grin, finally acting like a man kid. Then he discreetly pointed at Yi Mingyu and whispered, but seriously, "This one's way better than the last," clearly not recognizing her as the masseuse from before. I turned to the dazed Yi Mingyu. "Why just standing there?" She blinked. "Aren't we sparring?" I teased, "Sure, payment up front." To my surprise, she actually turned toward the counter. I quickly grabbed her arm. "Don't bother, you're exhausted today." "No training," she finally realized, blushing as she murmured, "I should go then." I silently followed her out of the dojo. Thinking I was seeing her off, she whispered, "No need." I smirked. "Who said I'm seeing you home?" I matched her pace. When she slowed, I slowed too. At the subway entrance, she finally glared at me. But as she did, she followed my gaze upward. Just then, a massive shadow suddenly streaked across the sky. The bright daylight instantly turned dark. Everyone on the street froze in place. People mid-argument froze with hands, raised words stuck in their throats. Others sat with food in their mouths, too terrified to chew or swallow. Fingers hovered over phone screens, unable to complete QR payments. Time seemed to stand still, yet sheer terror filled everyone's eyes. I knew instantly this was the oppressive aura of an S-class mutant beast, paralyzing everyone below its level. As the dark shadow passed, a violent gust swept through. A blue energy shield instantly activated over the city. I immediately recognized the shadow. The 200-ton wings of a hornet monarch, wingspan blotting out half the sky, moving faster than bullets. A single feather could level buildings. Decades later, on the alien battlefield, these would be trivial. But right now, it's an apocalyptic threat. I recalled that a Mirage Grandmaster intervened last time, defeating the beast. But this was only the beginning. Dragging Yi Minju into the subway corner, the deafening explosion rocked our world. The ground convulsed violently, sending billboard fragments raining down in a deadly shower. Until the chaos subsided, we dared to rise cautiously. The sight before us stole our breath. The blue energy shield lay in tatters, gaping wounds, spreading like spiderwebs across its surface. Across the street, skyscrapers snapped in half above smoldering ruins. Cars were pancaked under debris. Acrid smoke choked the air. But the dead silence was worse. Our side stood intact. Beyond the railing was pure hellscape. Amid the wreckage stood blood-red feathers taller than men, scythe-like and pulsing with ominous crimson light. The shockwave alone leveled the block when the emergency broadcast crackled to life, urging evacuation to bomb shelters. Grandmaster Bai Hongtian engaged the enemy, warning all Third Realm. Adios. To stand down the stampede towards shelters began instantly. I exhaled until a scream cut through. There's a child alive over there. All eyes followed his pointing finger. On a third-floor balcony, a girl curled amid flames, the structure groaning under impending collapse. The crowd fell deathly silent. A woman sobbed, begging her husband, "Save her." "Your Third Realm," the burly man grimaced, growling. "Too dangerous, Eski beasts. Miasma corrupts flesh. Going in unprotected is suicide," his wife whispered. "But you just qualified." "If I die," he roared, "what becomes of you two?" The crowd chimed in, saying to wait for professional rescuers rather than throw our lives away. That flimsy railing seemed to divide life and death, two separate worlds. Yi Minju clutched my sleeve desperately, her fingers turning white. When I suddenly stopped and turned toward the ruins, he grabbed me urgently, his voice trembling. "What are you doing?" I met his gaze with conviction. "I can do this." But he wouldn't let go, his eyes reddening, so I asked him, "Do you know who I really am?" He hesitated, whispering, "You're Wang Xian." I shook my head and produced a painting from my robe, depicting an armored warrior standing beneath a starry sky. I declared solemnly, "I am the future martial god." How could I face the artist if I abandoned those in need? He gripped the painting tightly, cheeks flushing slightly, and fell silent. "Keep this for me." "Okay, come back safe." I shed my jacket and vaulted over the railing. The crowd erupted. "You're insane, a high schooler going in. Is suicide?" Others mocked. "Too many anime. Got to your head, future martial god." "My," then the burly man roared.
"You cowards aren't fit to mock when a teen shows more guts than you." He turned to his wife.
"Emergency caches in the chute drawer." Then he marched toward the railing. More warriors gritted teeth and followed. Inside, crimson energy radiated from the man, while others paled under. The crushing pressure and malevolent energy sliced like blades. As they inched forward, certain I was doomed, yet I sprinted through debris with purpose. Devouring the crimson mist, hungrily, it felt as comforting as returning home. This baleful energy is lethal poison to others, but precious nourishment to me. Activating my starry sky, body tempering art, I cultivated frenziedly, using the spiritual malice. While pinpointing the girl's location, I deliberately paced myself, first dashing toward a crimson feather, crushing the lingering consciousness beneath my foot. I absorbed its pure essence completely. Instantly, tremendous power surged through me. The divine meridian breakthrough was complete. Swinging the feather as my weapon, spotting struggling martial artists in the distance, I paid them no mind. Charging toward the third-floor balcony, I leaped onto its crumbling edge. There, a princess-dressed girl cowered within a blue protective barrier, her eyes brimming with tears. Kneeling down, I extended my hand gently, little one. Would you like to come with me?